In our interview, Chief Audu, the Minister of Agriculture, explains the difference between ranching and the establishment of cattle colonies as been proposed by the government for herdsmen. Chief Audu, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your plan to have cattle colonies instead of ranches. You mentioned this and it has sparked off a lot of reactions.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate development, really. And I must say that, to Nigerians that the colony was purely a biological expression for a concentration of animals. It's used everywhere, bees, buffaloes, and what have you. But it wasn't intended to suggest that we were about to seize land from people and hand over to herdsmen coming from some other part to colonize them. I must say I do regret the reaction and the suspicions that have arisen.
Let's understand, really, because a lot of people, of course, have gone to research and they've tried to understand what it is you are trying to pass across. What does it entail? Is it a colony of not just cattle, an expanse of land going to be habited by the herdsmen, and then after a long period of time, they actually own these places provided for by the state?
First, there are ranches within a colony, and hundreds of ranches. Because from a point of view of economies of scale, it's better to manage a colony than a ranch. The idea is that within the colony there are many, many ranches. So you can provide security, you can gather milk, you can generate electricity. So the idea is have this large settlement instead of single ranches all over the place. Let those who want to ranch be in one area.
What's the size of the land we're referring to?
We had asked some of the states for average sizes of land of about 5,000 hectares. And we wrote to all the states.
That would cater for as many herdsmen as possible?
About 20, 30, 40 ranches within that area. Each ranch keeping about 300-400 cows. And then spread them all over. Because there are 19 million cows in the country.
So you're saying the state government should provide the land?
Yes.
Not the herdsmen buying the land?
No. The state government owns the land.
Yes.
There is a management to look after the place, to make sure the water system is working, that the place is being regrassed as the cows eat. You plant more grass, and there are special types of grass for feeding cows.
So the state government provides for the infrastructure to run this colony?
Yes.
And then the herdsmen pay for it? They pay for the services?
They've always paid tax. In the First Republic, herdsmen paid tax, and they paid dutifully. But the local government system is gone. So, of course, now they roam, and then in the roaming, they walk into people's farms, eat their crops, a dispute comes, and then they shoot. Now, we can't afford that forever. But back to the initial issue, there was no attempt, there was no contemplation that will walk into states, seize their land, and give herdsmen to own and establish a mayorate, which is the suspicion. Absolutely not. So
in our previous conversation, you mentioned ranching as a solution to the frequent clashes, but now of course you have retracted and you're saying colony. Did you get any form of understanding from the herdsmen in order to make this possible?
Well, no, I'm talking from the point of view of managing these areas. Very few ranches harbor more than 300 cows. And if you have to do that, you know how many ranches you need in every state, assuming that every state is interested? 1,711 ranches per state. From a point of view of health, it's not very safe, even for the human beings. From a point of view of managing them, their water system, providing the lighting and the milk collection and so on, it's almost impossible to manage, which is why we wanted clusters of ranches. But the suspicion is not based on reality. We did not want to seize anybody's land, to give herdsmen to come from far away and dominate and colonize their place. No.
So there is an association in charge, Mieti Allah, of course, that we popularly known. Are they really in support of this?
Oh yes, yeah, they are. They don't understand the concept of a cattle colony. They talk of ranching. But I know when I talk to individual headsmen that they are not fully aware of what a ranch takes to run. Ranches succeed very well in Europe because every cow on a ranch in Europe has a subsidy of €6 per day from government. We can't afford that here. And the way to cut down the cost, therefore, is to make sure there are many enough cattle that we can provide for them, their security, their water, their health, and our own health at a reasonably lower cost. That's all. So the word colony has offended many.
How many states are standing with your idea?
16 now. But that's, for now, it will do. We wrote to all the states. And 20 responded or didn't respond. Some among those 20 said they didn't have the land we required. And we appreciated their concern. Some said they were not interested. Some didn't write at all. And we said, fine. Those who have agreed, we'll work with them. We have never insisted that you must give land.
You said that the main purpose for this colony idea in the first place is in order to quench the issue or the challenge of clashes. Many would say attacks, because it has become more frequent than we initially thought it would be. So, and it's claiming lives, claiming property and all of that. So what is the way forward?
The way forward is the way I've mapped out. We had a seminar here in July. 700 people attended from different parts of the country. We examined the situation. We examined climate change and the impact. Because once the rain stops in our neighboring West African states and the north of Nigeria, the cattle begin to move towards the Benue Valley, where there is water and very good foliage for them to eat. And in the process of marching along 300 cows, 500 cows, they walk into a man's farm or a woman's farm, eat up the crops. There have been cases of rape, killings, and so on and so forth. I don't want that to happen. If you don't deal with it now, it's not going to end.
What is the president saying?
I saw him and gave him a roadmap of what I want. And he says, I'll provide you the resources you need to move with speed. This thing must be stopped because it's going to cause commotion in the country, complete commotion. The killings are too many. So stop it. And our problem is even further complicated by the fact that some of these cows are not even from Nigeria. In spite of the 19 million here, we have cows marching in from Chad, Niger Republic, sometimes as far away as Burkina Faso, in search of grass, in search of water. There is even a myth about the water and the grass of the Benue Valley. The herdsmen just believe that in the dry season, if you can move your cows there, they have greater fertility, they have better feed, and it's not entirely unscientific. So the cows come from Taraba, from Adamawa along that river Benue, through Taraba to Benue, to Agatu, where the water pours into, and Lokoja, water empties into the river Niger. The place is very lush with very good grass. And the herdsmen, they don't even understand what you mean by states and boundaries.
How many of these herdsmen really, and they're not the owners of these cows, are willing to pay for services in order to have their cows catered for?
They've always paid before.
So we keep our fingers crossed for many of these, lofty plans and, ambition that Nigeria has, for its agricultural sector. Thank you very much, Chief Audogbe, for coming on Dateline Abuja.
Thank you very much indeed. God bless you.
Well, thank you for your mails as always and tweets. I will take a few of them right away. I have this one coming from Ike Kenneth, and he says, the Abuja-Kefi Road is filled with potholes. I also have this one coming from YB Saleh, and he says, President Buhari was honored as AU's anti-corruption champion because he was found to be qualified for the title. However, Iveren Aloa says President Buhari was doing well until he was unable to deal with the killings in Benue State. Well, keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Now, don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you so much for watching this week. I'm Gloria Omezike. See you again.